Next up, we've got Kim Ashby. Kim Ashby is a partner and a litigation lawyer with the Foley Lardner firm. She represents developers, contractors, and governmental entities on a range of complex litigation matters, including lenders and special servicers, and the CMBS foreclosures and workouts. Ms. Ashby has handled more than 100 appeals at the Florida's 5th District Court of Appeal. She's going to be talking to us about Vlsc.
Thank you. So for those of you in the room who know me, I know when you looked at the agenda and you saw they gave me 15 minutes to speak, you're probably going, why would they do that? I'm going to start with something, since we're on camera. I drove in from Orlando. I got on the road at 4:15, so had I known this was going to be taped, I would have gotten a spray tan and maybe binge dieted for a couple of weeks. I've got to start though, because one of the things that was mentioned about the budget and the court system. And Fred Lawton, this is for you, man. Greetings from Orlando, Florida, the original venue of business courts in Florida. We don't have business court anymore because the state of Florida couldn't afford it. It's really sort of embarrassing, and we're hoping that this is just going to be a blip in this upcoming year. We're going to get the recognition that it is a branch of government and we need to support it. So thank you for letting me get on the soapbox on that. So Vlsc, the Board of Legal and Specialized Education. I am chairing that this year, believe it or not. I know most of you think, you know, how did you back into that? Well, Sue Cole was going to do it, and she said she didn't have time this year to commit to, and she would have been an awesome chair. So you'll just have to put up with me. What does Vlsc do? We oversee two things, and the one thing that you're probably not thinking of is, you know, continuing legal education. It's not a big part of what we do because staff does such a fabulous job maintaining those and keeping them moving forward. But we want to always encourage all the sections, all the practice areas to keep your CLE offerings vibrant. Because the smarter we are, the better we offer services to the people that need them. I drove up, and happily, you know, the sun was finally out, and I noticed on the building, and I've never been to this facility before, that it says established in 1950. You know, this is my 37th year of practice. The bar is only about 30 years older than I am, and that's a little eye-opening. So when I walk in and I hear that there's a challenge to a mandatory bar, well, that ought to get everybody's attention, whether you had coffee or not. I would tell you that I think there's a challenge to the legal profession. And I just came from an ABA forum on certification, and it's a topic about, you know, what is the practice of law? And I'm a litigator and an appellate lawyer, so you can say I'm a transactional person, this doesn't affect me. You know, the only thing that isn't an ad for a politician right now is a LegalZoom ad or something like that. And so, you know, what I would suggest is Vlsc this year, we're going to make board certification great again. Yes, our goal is to serve as best we can the people who need legal services, the people and entities in and of the state of Florida. And in order to do that, we want to have the best population of lawyers, of attorneys licensed to practice in our state, who can give them those services. And when you become board certified, you have to go through a process in order to establish yourself as board certified. And that process, and I've done it twice because I'm double board certified, makes you a better lawyer in that area. And everyone who's shaking their head, yes, I think is either board certified or in the process, and you know what I'm talking about. We have a particular challenge, or a couple of challenges, that we're going to take on head on this year. I love, honor, and admire all of my predecessors in the Vlsc, and they've done a fabulous job. I'm I wear kind of funky shoes. Everybody knows that. And I carry a salsa in my bag. I'm going to turn it up a notch. Okay? And that's what you would expect from me anyway. But, I mean, what do I mean by that? We have what's called the Cersei opinion, and I know Chris Cersei, and he's a fabulous, fabulous lawyer, and I have immense regard for his law firm. They took on the Florida bar, challenging whether you can restrict the ability to call yourself a specialist to only those people who are board certified by the Florida bar. And so can you, as a card-carrying lawyer, call yourself a specialist in an area now if you're not board certified? Answer is? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. And that is in the process of being refined because the Florida Supreme Court is asking, and it's going back and forth through BOG, and I'm not saying anybody's dragging their feet. They're not. We're on top of it in every which way. But they want criteria for this non-board certified specialist who has to objectively have some sort of objective standard that they can point to that says this is what my criteria are, and that's why I'm entitled to call myself a specialist. Now, as chair of Vlsc, and I should have started with this warning, many, if not all, of my comments are Kim Ashby's and not necessarily the entirety of the Vlsc. But I would suggest to you that the Cersei opinion is right to this extent. What about the areas of specialty that aren't currently board certified? Okay, thank you. Camera folks, I'm getting a lot of nods in the head. We have 27 areas of specialty. And so we are one of the biggest and most vibrant board certified states in the union. And people look to us, the state of Florida, and the Vlsc to see what we're doing, because if we're doing it, then it's got to be good. We work hard, we research it, we try to make sure we're doing what we need to be doing. And so you look at California, Texas, New York, you look at the so-called big states, and we are in the big states, okay? And that's not always the case, public education. So we're very proud of that. But even so, there are areas that aren't specialized, and I'll pick on a couple that Chris Cersei specializes in. Medical malpractice, for example, is not a sub-area of specialization. Neither is toxic torts, all right? And one could argue maybe they should be. Okay, the expansion of practice areas that are board certified has been not just steady, but aggressively, you know, we're keeping a very aggressive pace as long as it makes sense. It's cost effective because we're also keeping a close eye on those areas that are like Lake Ashby. You know, there is such a thing. It's just shrinking down to nothing now. There's a couple of frogs there. So we make sure that the areas are staying relevant to the practice. And if there are new areas that need to be developed, there's actually on our website a format button okay, I want to launch a new area. How do I do it? Press that button. Bam, there's a menu how to do it. When we launched construction 10 years ago, I forget, the construction boys, and I don't see any of my construction brethren in here. They're still sleeping. It's Friday. Anyway, they said, why aren't we board certified? And I said, well, because nobody's applied to do it. We don't know how to do it. I said, well, I know how to do it. So we put together a package of, okay, who all will sit for an exam? And I got 125 people email me, and I put that package together. I went to Vlsc, we pitched it. It's now a page in history. It's one of the fastest growing areas and continues to maintain a really healthy population. So in 2017, we had 255 new board certified lawyers, and when you become board certified, there's a press kit now on our website. These are stepping stones, man. I hope at the end of the year I'm going to say, man, you come on board and become board certified, and it is really going to kickstart your practice. And I say that to even those folks that are on, you know, public salary, I mean, where you're not looking to court business out in the marketplace. It's still very much a high return on investment. So what does board certification require? It requires a percentage of practice in your area. And so usually 30+%, I've got to establish that I'm practicing in that area for at least a large portion of my practice. Increase CLE from 50 to 100 extra specialized CLE hours in the cycle. It's a 5-year cycle. And what am I leaving out? Oh, come on, you guys. Exam, yes. People go, there's a test, I can't pass a test. I end up taking the test in the Florida bar. Yes, the test is an important part of getting board certified, and we're trying to, to make that a kinder user, more kindly way of, ingratiating yourself into it's not that bad if you really know your stuff. And the people that are sitting on certification committees go to grading school. And having been on 2 cert committees, I had to go to grading school twice. And you learn how to grade exams. It's very scientific, and we are always looking to refine that as well because it's really important. Peer review. Let me give you another outside this room challenge. This is what I was doing at this ABA conference in Louisville, Kentucky. I said to Steve Lesser, I'm not going to Idaho, man. The next time you drag me somewhere. But anyway, so we sat there on this panel with people saying that peer review, because board certification should be a property interest. And if it's a property interest, then you get due process. And if you get due process, then confidential peer review goes out the window because nothing can be confidential. You've got to be able to confront whoever whoever's giving you a bad review. In Florida, as it stands, and I support this, it is not considered a property interest for that purpose. But let me also add that except for the confidentiality of peer review, due process reigns. The review process is very much like the admin law process, and it is reviewed on multiple levels, and everybody takes it very, very seriously. Why we don't have open peer review is because it's hard enough as it is to get confidential peer review. And from time to time, there is someone who is otherwise qualified, yet if you were sitting next to them and they practiced in your geographic area and in your subject area and you knew things, you just have to say, okay, the process does not stop there. It's like a crime line. If you call in a tip on a crime line, somebody acts on that. They use that empirical data and they go with it. Okay? I'm telling you all that because this is not a lifeboat, good old boys, good old girls club. It's very, very clinical about how this is done. So because we don't want to ever be like an elitist group that I don't want to be a part of that. That's not my style. Our biggest challenge this year I'm working on is we are seeing the spalling off of people who are board certified. And I asked staff to run some numbers for me because on recertification, across all areas, we're seeing large margins of people who are eligible to recertify, not recertifying. And I said, what gives? It's not just trial lawyers, Mindy. It's not just practitioner of real estate and corporate practitioners, Mike. It's across the board. So there were 3 basic reasons for people not recertifying. Are you ready? Number 1, death. Okay, there's nothing I can do about that. Number 2, retirement. Okay, but what this means is we saw an awful lot of bloom on the rose bush when these things were coming in, and now the young ones we're not giving them the message that this is a really important part of the end of their practice. And this one we've all seen from whatever's happening to the practice, and everybody, with some limited exceptions, is experiencing the practice of law is sort of hammocked a bit, and people are shifting their practice area because they have to. A friend of mine who was an Admiralty board certified and said, I can't rightly affirm that I spend that percentage of time in that practice area anymore because I had to move on. So we've got to adjust to that. And I know this is a Vlsc presentation and it sounds like a microcosm. To me, though, this is metaphoric to everything that we need to be working on as leadership in the Florida Bar, with Michelle's leadership already, really, really giving us that nice boost. And I've got to do a shout out to our President-elect, John Stewart, who's from my sleepy home beach town, Vero Beach, and Mike Minton from my private school days in 7th and 8th grade. That's it for Vlsc. We are very proud to be part of the mandatory Florida Bar, and we're here to serve you and the people of the state of Florida. Thank you. And I'm going to run for governor, whatever.